I'm sorry. All right. On Jah versus inferior Jah. I mean Dark On Jah. Admin powers go bird, dude. Well, this way we also get the ad going, so. Yeah. Oh, yours is? Hell yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't get a league ad, which is weird because I usually do get league ads because I play way too much of this game. Alright, so who wants to cast this next game? Do we want to go back to not you? Let's go back to Leon and Asp at least the first game. I feel confident casting the second game because believe it or not, when you int, it's much easier to make fun of you than other people. So yeah, I don't want to cast the first game because I don't want it to seem like I'm pumping myself up because I feel like I did well the first game and I don't want to be like, oh, look at that Nico go. What a guy. Nico's picked, by the way. Well, at the end because we were that's spoilers. Yes. Yeah, we are. I also have a 3-minute commercial break going. So, unless they're using ad block, in which case, fuck them, they deserve it. Huh? I mean, why not? Like, we told them we'd be back in 5 minutes. Probably longer than that. Might as well run the ads. Alright, cool. Oh. Hell yeah. Nice. Dude, my voice is already hoarse, and it was one game of shoutcasting only. I get excited, man. I don't know what to do, man. I'm not in not in marching band anymore, so I'm not yelling at football and basketball games every weekend. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Oh, new mentions. Who mentioned me? Announcements. Oh. The bot that fails every time. You want to repost the link since it's probably not going to work? My link works. What the hell? Weird. All right. Also, that's super weird. Hold on. I'm showing muted, but I think I'm being picked up on the stream question mark. Hold on. I am. This is weird. Gumball, why is OBS projecting my voice when everything's muted? I'm looking at OBS and everything is muted. And we are back. If there were spoilers that you heard, I don't know what to tell you. Everything was muted. And B, you should stop using ad blockers, so not my fault. So, we are back, and we are going to be doing On Jah versus Dark On Jah. And I am joined, once again, by a just group of people. Anyone want to
Howdy.
introduce themselves? There we go.
I'll start it up. Yeah, your boy Leon is coming back, the resident Texan that's be best.
I'm Asp.
Wow.
And Gumball's here as well. For now.
Howdy,
Hey,
Gumball.
Gumball and I are playing in this game, so once again, the cast will be done by Asp and Leon. As fun as it is to cast your own games, you know, it's just like, are you throwing shade at yourself? Are you throwing shade at the other team? It's awkward and, you know, self-conscious.
Oh, no worries. I'll be throwing all the shade, and I know Ass can get in there with the BM, so you guys are going to have a fun time.
Yeah,
I'll take it easy, don't worry.
Gumball, what position did you play these games?
I was ADC.
Flame the ADC, boys. Thanks.
Got it.
No, playing the mid laner. The mid laner through the game.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Oh,
whatever.
okay, mid lane
Anyway,
trash.
so we're going to be getting started on our first game. Is the draft ready to go, Gumball?
Yes, so we are ready to go.
Cool, I am streaming it for casters. And I will put it up on our thing so we can actually see it in a second. That's all right. Oh, that's because I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Excellent. We are good to go.
Okay. We'll see if the draft comes up on stream here.
First ban Mordekaiser. I don't know
Right,
if you
first
guys
ban
at home can be
Mordekaiser.
seeing it. What do you think about that?
So these are a totally different set of teams. I think Mordekaiser is just a respect ban for Ja. I believe
Potato
Mordekaiser
Man
and
is a Mordekaiser kind of one trick.
and we're probably going to also see a Pantheon ban. Karma ban, really predictable. Honestly, considering
Super
yesterday's
strong.
performance from Karma in the mid lane and the top lane for one of those games, Karma, just a really good flexible character to support a lot of strong top lane and jungle picks. And I'm very not surprised to see the Karma ban. Shen ban is an interesting one. We saw Ja, I think, play it on support, right?
Yeah, support
Yes.
Shen is one of our main picks.
Right, and that's another just a comfort ban. And I think just if I were on Ja Dark, I would want to throw out these comfort bans just to throw Ja on off kilter a little bit. Pantheon ban for Ja. Actually, that's a self ban, isn't it? Their mid lane plays a lot of Pantheon, from what I understand.
Our support also does, but we didn't want to see it.
Right.
Makes sense.
Pantheon's
Makes
just a
sense.
strong character overall. It doesn't, it's not a stretch to say that Anjar Dark could easily make good leverage of the Pantheon. And for the last ban on Anjar Dark is going to be a Volibear. We actually haven't seen. No, we have seen Volibear before. Anja played it against their opponents Underworld last time, and it didn't quite work out. But still a good ban if one of their players is comfortable on. I'm gonna assume that was their jungler, and Vel'Koz actually banned out for Anja Dark. I'm gonna assume that's a mid. I don't
Mid
think
ban.
their support plays any Vel'Koz.
Yeah, their mid laner has a 60% win rate with like 150 games on Vel'Koz, so top prio ban on that one.
Actually, Takara.
I believe that is our resident friend in the Discord, Takara. Let's give
Yeah.
her a little bit of hype at home for that one.
It is
Getting
Takara.
one of the
Xin Zhao.
bans.
Xin Zhao, I love this pick for Anja Dark. Kenda plays a ton of Xin Zhao, had a ton of success. He actually got to his plat promos with Xin Zhao. Very good player on this character, and I love it as a prio pick.
And again, we see the Mundo coming out. That tank sustain. It's really strong, but I don't know how I feel about it. Since the rework, I'm not a big fan.
I mean, Mundo's going to be immune to the first CC throw at him. I mean, it's not a huge deal, though, considering that, from what I understand, Anja Dark's playstyle is not just get the one CC. They hit you with a waterfall of CCs that actually, just tumbles your team front to back if they want. But, a lot of diving comps too. Anja picks up Senna as their second pick. I'm going to assume that's either ADC or support. Pretty good pick overall. Lots of good harassment in lane. I don't know how she carries on to late game, but can be trouble if played well. Second
Definitely
pick
trouble
for
if she
Anja
can
Dark.
go Glacial Augment.
Ziggs, actually, I believe that's Takara's pick. She does play a lot of Ziggs. That's going to be either ADC or mid, actually. She has played Ziggs bottom before. And Nautilus as a support pick for Nate. Nautilus, just a very good overall character. Utility of every sort. Can start fights, can end fights, can actually even get away using his Q against terrain. Just good pick overall.
Definitely a good counterbalance to Leona in case we do see something similar. I don't believe we will. A good amount of soft CC as well.
Right, and Anja picking Jinx as their ADC, confirming Senna as support. Just a good overall character. But again, what's a troubling trend here is Jinx is more of a late game hyper carry, and we haven't seen that pan out yet today. Swain is the first ban, a second round bans here for Anja against Dark On Jah.
Man,
good
I
ban.
do see the strength in the Swain. I do agree with it. Swain has just such an AP carry powerhouse with a good amount of HP. And
Right,
with the
true.
Ornn.
True, but I disagree with the Swain ban heavily, not just because we see a support ban or support already picked, but a potential AP bottom has already been picked in Ziggs, and Ziggs probably going mid. But like, if Ziggs went bottom, then what's the point of the Swain ban? I just don't agree with it. And we see a Ornn ban coming out from Dark On Jah, just generally comfort. I guess a comfort ban. I don't really see Ornn as a character that threatens Dark On Jah, but they just banned it anyway. Viego, excellent ban. I love this ban, but again, Xin Zhao was already picked as the scrappy sort of jungler type. I guess they're just guarding against a mid Viego, but their mid player doesn't play Viego. So I don't think that ban was very well researched.
I agree with you on that one. I don't see where Viego was standing in that team comp from what we see already with the Jin Chao Yin, with the Ziggs, with the Nautilus. I don't see it panning.
Right.
But
So
the
we have
Malphite, I definitely see the Malphite.
right. So On Jah Dark bans both Ornn and Malphite, assuming that Dr. Mundo is going to be jungle instead of top. I
Oh, and
suppose.
before you
Yeah, go ahead.
continue, going back onto the Jin Chao, I did just get some resident info. Jin Chao apparently is probably going to get some problems from the Viego. Viego turns out to be a top play for one of the players on Anja.
Right. So they are. Oh, I see. Well, okay. We have a set pick that's probably going top then, confirming that Dr. Mundo is going jungle.
I don't know. They could try to get spicy and throw it into the mid lane.
Oh
Unlikely.
yeah, true. Set can also go mid. Yeah, certainly. I'm not 100% sure about the pools here. We got a Fiora confirmed for top. Doesn't really go anywhere else. And we've got a last pick Samira as the ADC bottom, confirming that Ziggs is actually going to go mid. And that's a lot of hyper carry potential from On Jah Dark, but not in the same vein as Jinxes and Aphelios, etc. Samira and Fiora both first seen here in any of these games in the tournament so far.
Now with
And
the
we have a
Nico
Nico solo lane. Yeah, that's something that I believe our boy Pick and plays, and something that that has been target banned away from him before. Nico probably mid, confirming set top.
Now, I am going to say it is interesting to see that Nico against that Fiora, Samira, and the Jin Chao being such a close range champions. Nico is definitely going to have great amount of chances to catch some people with the stun.
Yeah, but again, herself being very vulnerable, right? As a squishy AP right clicker with a couple utility like a root and a ulti that has like a AoE stun and shield that doesn't come out until she activates the stun, kind of weird. But like it's kind of a niche pick, a bit of a you can do some tricky plays with the clone, but kind of a Teemo like a Teemo-ish sort of character, right? It's a AP harasser with range autos.
I don't agree with that. I feel like if Nico can actually get that AP to scale into the game, then she's going to be
How?
able to do some massive power with her ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, the only way she gets a lot of gold is if she's playing against the Ziggs, which is kind of like a very non-interactive, sort of you get gold, I get gold kind of character, right? Ziggs is going to have a hard time harassing Nico, especially as Nico threatens out these roots. Anyway, I think we are ready to go into the game.
Let's check it out.
I will get the stream up for you guys.
All right.
You guys can see it?
I see it.
Yes, can confirm.
Excellent. Well, let's go.
All right, so we have a pretty standard opening for most of the characters. We have a Dark Seal for the Nico.
Like I said, if she can get that AP carry potential, her ultimates will be nasty considering she's able to pretty much can confirm with these team fights. With 3 people going in on top of carries, she can get some pretty nasty ultimates in there.
Well, again, one of the problems with Nico is that when you're versus a Fiora, it's a very telegraphed CC that Fiora can very easily repose. And
You are correct. I forgot about it. Now Takara, our Ziggs here, throwing in some early poke with no fear.
Right, walking up and providing zoning to get her team into this bush. Nautilus doesn't quite hit the Q, but a lot of damage onto this Samira, who's forced to flash out, continue to be chased, probably first blooded, yes. And we see a flash used by the Samira, flash and barrier. Barrier, an interesting choice instead of ignite, but both of those summoners used and dead anyway. And exhaust used for Samira, not available for lane, but the kill, quite good for a start. Not a lot of damage even traded back.
Definitely, and I feel like that's going to help Fiora scale into the game.
And we saw that that red team actually didn't drop any words during that scuffle, meaning they're not quite sure where blue team has moved to. They did retreat back just to do a standard red start, though.
They are, and I bet you can tell that they have a little bit of fear that there may be a second gank coming in because of the lack of vision.
Right, but seeing Ziggs back in mid and they are not disrupted at their blue, I suppose they just took the gamble that the invade wasn't going to continue.
Definitely.
And just standard leashes for both teams afterwards. Fiora starting off, getting a little bit of a small momentum lead at top there against the Set. Chooses not to Q, actually gets the vital as a matter of fact. But Set is a very resilient top lane, kind of hard to pressure out.
Now, I do want to ask you, oh man, we're about to see an
super early
invade.
gank here. Yeah, Xin Zhao going for the red to gank, for the flashless Senna. As they know, Senna blew the flash level 1, won't have it early on, and this is the kind of regank that I'm talking about. When you get the flash, you have to leverage it. A good route into the 3-pop Q from Nico, lots of damage from 2 abilities.
Definitely, definitely. Now, just looking at this early game already, there might be 2 kills on Dark On Jah, but how do you think this game's going to start to play out?
Well, it's got a lot of early momentum here in bot lane, right? Coach Jacob, a lot of CS lead. You know, it is very early on, but big CS lead here at bottom. Actually, slow Q there from Nate. Oh, I assume that was Nate on Nautilus. Turns out it's a different player. Nate's here playing top lane. Anyway, bit of a slow Q there. Didn't dodge the set damage, but it's fine. The skirmishing, definitely a skill matchup, but I would say Fiora's got this a little bit, because as you know, Set likes to build HP. Fiora does % health true damage.
Definitely, definitely.
And he did get the early Senna kill, and that is going to give him a slight XP.
Another hook with the Nautilus, forcing a couple of heals out.
Yeah, return damage is really huge though, with the Jinx coming in from the side. Nautilus with no flash, right? Exactly, goes down. And a gank up top here against this Fiora.
Now let's see if it actually culminates into a kill. I don't believe it
with
will.
The briefcase. And the counter gank from Xin Zhao as the momentum turns. Xin Zhao forces the flash on Mundo. They both turn on the set. Big whiff on the W. And, oh, actually he had the flash of Punyu. But anyway, the big turn looks like they get both the kills. Double buffs go to Xin Zhao. Very big momentum shift.
Not looking good for On Jah.
Yeah. You really hate to see it when your jungler ganks for you and then you both die. Yikes.
Big whiff.
Yeah, and a CS parity in mid here. Ziggs took a lot of poke damage, but health is right back up, and CS is actually slight edge for Ziggs. And we saw Samira did go for the reset, which leaves Samira behind a little bit on CS, but should have a XP lead here, even though Jinx got a kill early.
And Fiora with 2 assists, a kill, and the first plate. That's a lot of gold disparity already showing in the top lane.
Right, but the story here is Xin Zhao with 2 kills, 2 assists. That's a very accelerated. Well, I mean, he's kind of a duelist, but he's just a scrapper overall, and we've seen the success of scrappier comps here. Ooh. Kind of greeted for the cannon and took a tower shot. Forced the W. W doesn't block tower damage, as you know. And we have a big gank here in mid. Satchel charge gets them slightly away, but Mundo is probably going to secure this kill. Takara forced the flash out. Actually, Xin Zhao intercepting and pushed out by the Xin Zhao. Very big damage here. He's got the red buff to slow Mundo.
Man, I know they say Jin Chao's a scrapper, but this game is showing more like he's an assassin.
Ooh, it looks like he's actually going to be able to make it out here throwing cleaves. Actually decides not to go towards his tower and gets picked off by the Xin Zhao that got his audacious charge up. And we got
this game is
pushing.
already turning into scraps.
Yeah, and well, again, we have Xin Zhao here with 100% kill participation. And Fiora gets a Vital again, going to help her regen a little bit and sustain in this lane against Set, who has natural sustain on a large magnitude. Looks like a CS lead, a CS parity up top, but an XP lead for Fiora. But of course, as she gets these pushed up minions, yeah, he's not going to be able to slow push this because Fiora just has the dueling power. And as we look down here at bottom, you know, they're actually trying to freeze it outside the tower, trying to play pretty safe, even though Nautilus got caught out before. Nautilus doesn't have his flash up, now Senna does. We see the summoners sort of in bot lane favor for On Jah, but are they going to convert it into any kind of play? Mundo is down here, but he's kind of...
He's still taking his ground, so...
Yeah, if I'm this Mundo, I'm kind of looking, but you see Xin Zhao anticipating this, he's already in position. How about that?
How about that? This Jin Chao is playing incredibly well, being there every time he's needed, and even when you think he's not supposed to be in the area, he's always just found in the right spot at the right time.
Right, and Mundo is trying to sneak the dragon. Kind of a sin here, kind of a Ren move, if you ask me. Anyway, he's forced off the dragon, and we have a 3-man turnaround in the bottom, actually taking out the Samira. Xin Zhao actually not gonna be able to get the Jinx, and gets punished for it with the teleport from Nico. Very good counter teleport down here at bottom.
Definitely. Good play for On Jah.
Wandering down river, trying to answer the play, but a little bit too late. She should probably just crash the wave instead. Mundo hanging out by dragon, looking to see if there's a bonus dragon to be had following the play here at bottom. Nautilus just hanging out, seeing if he could stop perhaps a early bottom push. Just gets hit by the root and the seed from Nico for another kill under tower. Very good play.
Very good play. Dark On Jah playing this incredibly well, but On Jah is also coming in with some tricky plays now that we're getting into the 7-minute mark.
Right, missing a bit of CS here to do so, but a lot of gold returned back onto the Nico, keeping the momentum up. And it looks like Ziggs is looking to make sure that they can't sneak this dragon, eats a root from the Senna, but no additional damage. Traded out. Looks like they're pushing him out of position. Senna and Mundo push up against the wall. Senna forced to flash. Mundo throwing out cleavers and getting away. It looks like the play is going to disengage. No dragon taken.
Man, this dragon has already been contested for about a minute and a half, reaching to the 2-minute mark.
Right, and the macro is going to hurt Ziggs a little bit as the slow push threatens to crash the tower. Ziggs is trying to get back in the lane, going to miss a few things getting there, but Nico thinking about the reset perhaps after all the gold injection that she got. And Ziggs actually getting back to lane in time. Fiora trading under tower a little bit, taking a lot of extra damage. Probably has to look for the reset. 16 CS is the disparity up top.
And you already gotta imagine, this set is already down to death, and he's already fighting a Fiora with a 1-kill, 2-assist advantage. She's already showing the sheen, and she's going back for more items. It's only gonna get worse up there.
Right, it is a little bit puzzling that Set decided to go for the longsword buy instead of a more defensive purchase. Usually you expect a early Bramble against a Fiora that's kind of right-click focused. Zigzag actually getting caught here by the Nico combo. Not quite enough to convert into a full kill. Neither of them have full mana. Hasn't actually forced the flash. Not that Ziggs had the flash available. And it looks like with the Dark Harvest proc, going to be happy to back off and continue pushing the lane.
But she was able to get the barrier out.
Yeah, the barrier, it does prevent the death. Ziggs actually wasn't in kill threat, but honestly, Nico probably should have frozen this, to be completely honest.
I would have agreed with the freeze there. I feel like it definitely would have forced the Ziggs to just try to find something elsewhere or miss out on that gold.
Yeah, then again, we haven't seen the Nico back yet, so I guess she was just trying to push to get the reset. Xin Zhao cheeky going in for the Wraith Steal. Mundo exploring the dragon again, and this time, nobody's actually stopping him.
I don't think that they actually have good vision yet, but it looks like Nautilus might be able to find that Mundo real soon.
Right, Nautilus wandering through the river, trying to get some vision, actually catches the dragon there in progress. And, oh, it was a little bit too late. Mundo got it, and Nautilus not enough to stop him.
Gotta hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it is... There wasn't really a big play to be had. Xin Zhao was out of position since he was invading. It's the poke there from the Fiora with the riposte. Not
questionable ulti on the set there. I don't see the kill potential there. I don't see what he had to gain to actually ult the Fiora in that position.
I think he was just, it was kind of a get off me ulti trying to relieve the pressure of the minions on the tower.
Oh, clean hook on the Nautilus.
And then initiate with, and then the snap traps are actually completely out of position. Senna ultis backwards, and Samira gets the S rank and ultis both of them down. It was just a bit of a comedy of errors. Jinx mispositioned those snap traps really aggressively far back. Snap traps have a deploy time, which meant that she should have just put it underneath her Senna, knowing that the Samira was going to E through her. But yeah, really good play, starting with the hook on the Senna, who didn't have the flash earlier, as you remember from the Dragon disengage.
Definitely, but you have to appreciate that hook on the Nautilus. That was a clean hook right next to minions. He was able to just cut it right between them.
Right, solid play and just good precision, good aggression there from the bot lane. Samira picking up 2 kills, 2 assists, really accelerating towards her power spike, that first mythic. And speaking of mythics, we got our first one done just now, the Glory Drinker from Xin Zhao, having reset after the Dragon invade. Samira aggressively continuing the play, flash chase from Jinx, and gonna get excited with the zap gun, and gives up the chase. Mundo deciding to continue in spite of the Q on terrain for Nautilus to get away. You know, he's a very flexible character. Couldn't really save the Samira, but the Samira trade 1-for-1 finishes her shield though.
Luckily, that Mundo was able to get that briefcase off on the Samira. If not, I think she actually was able to get out of there.
Now, I believe that was a shutdown, perhaps? Was it on the Mundo or the Samira?
I believe the shutdown was given to the Mundo with the briefcase.
Got it. Yeah, pretty decent play there. Tragically, just a 1-for-1 considering all the effort that had to have been put forth by the Mundo. Nico looking for a play there using the stealth. Ziggs wisely steps back, dodges the root, gets a poke on 2 buttons there. Decent on a return damage. Mundo was looking mid. Looks like he's going to transition instead to bot lane. Gonna run into the Xin Zhao. And the teleport play from the Fiora. Ultis the Samira, or the Senna. Whiffs the riposte, but doesn't matter. Gets the kill anyway. trying to hook around back to leave. Gets hit by the... Yeah, got hit by the...
Mega Rocket.
Yeah, got hit by the Mega Rocket. He didn't have the repulse because he was trying to use it to poke the Senna out earlier during the kill attempt.
Now, what do you think? What do you think about the Nico build so far? Considering she's trying to just go hyper AP.
It is an interesting play. Oh, flash over from the root on Xin Zhao. A little bit aggressive. Actually gets both of the kills.
Oh my god, the bomb
love to
on
see
the
it.
Ziggs.
Right, it was a good bomb on the Mundo, and actually the Comet got the Nico following it. Really good play. Xin Zhao flashes over the root to do so. Bit of a big commit there. You love to see the balls on that Xin Zhao. Very good play.
Definitely, this Jin Chao is playing on top of himself today.
Right. So as far as the Nico build goes, it is a little bit aggressive. He's going for, I assume, the oh gosh, what's that called? Night Harvester?
I believe that is the Night Harvester items.
And his Dark Harvester, what do you call it? Dark Seal stacks at 0 after that death. I would say I don't like Night Harvester seems pretty standard here, but the problem is Nico had the one play and then hasn't really been able to convert to much. So maybe Nico plans to accelerate the game a little bit, but until that happens, I don't really agree with it. Even though it's kind of standard, like what else are you gonna build? You know.
Oh, Nautilus trying to get a hook on the turret, doing a ton of damage. Nautilus
Good
popping
dodge on the
ulti to
zap
try to
dodge.
do the fight.
Mundo coming in from behind here. Xin Zhao gonna get the trade kill, but he's a bit stranded. And Nico ulti used as part of the effort, killing the Xin Zhao. That's a, I believe that's another shutdown. No, it's not a shutdown.
No,
Ziggs
not a
actually has a
shutdown
shutdown
there.
here up top. Decent trade, goes for the set sec in order to ulti her back in the tower. Fiora does walk away though. No real follow-up in spite of the good set ulti. I would have really thought that he would continue to pressure though.
I feel
didn't
like
have the
Set
confidence.
would have had the kill there.
Yeah, Set did the flash ulti, you know, as you call the set sec, and it just didn't turn into the solo kill. He's been consistently pushed under his tower, 30 CS behind. 0-1-0 is the score for the Set. Not really doing a ton here.
Not a ton, but I feel like he tried his best against a losing lane, and he was able to hold it off as well as he can. Sadly for Dark On Jah, they really tried to get that first turret, but they were pushed away, and On Jah, On Jah was able to get that first turret gold.
Right, and it was kind of a huge blunder, bit of a teleport play. Xin Zhao dove a little bit hard, took some tower damage, and bot lane, you know, the Samira, until you get like, honestly, until you get like Collector, Samira's not that strong yet. You know, you can get like the S rank pretty early, but it doesn't convert to like infinite damage, you know, like it used to be before.
Definitely, that heal cut that they did on the ultimate was definitely what helped her get to where she is.
Right. Aside from that, you know, the bot lane still looks quite good for Dark On Jah, in spite of that disastrous play. Ooh, big W, gets the vitals. Just caught
And we
outside
are
the tower. He
now-
never really had that.
He
passive
doesn't,
play.
and then I feel like this bleeding, like he was cutting it off well early, but the scales are just so out of favor now.
Right, Fiora has a level 11, has her mythic done, whereas Set just not much resources to work with. You know what I mean? That
And
fight
with
was never
that,
gonna happen.
oh man, I would like to see the actual gold. There you go, read my mind on that one. Look at that, 6.5
Right,
to
almost
3.7.
Right, almost a full item advantage for Fiora. That fight's never really gonna happen. And that
Nope.
does provide massive pressure for top.
Big fight in the bot lane.
And yeah, the dragon sneak from Xin Zhao now turning to try and fight Samira. Cut off in the gray screen right as she starts her ulti. And Nico gets a pretty decent ulti in return. Kills Xin Zhao, kills Samira. And not well, dragon for 3. I don't think that's quite worth.
I don't, and we're now seeing the gold is still holding even, considering most of that gold is on the Fiora currently.
Right, well, if Fiora has a almost 3k gold lead, but the gold is even, that means the rest of the team is behind, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Right, so we see a slight disadvantage for mid lane, slight disadvantage for... Actually, look at the gold diff on support. That's where a lot of On Jah's gold is. As you can see, Samira's sitting on 5,800 versus the 4.1 on Nautilus. So the gold total don't really tell the whole story.
Oh, and the bomb whiff on the Ziggs.
Yeah, well, there's no real getting away from that. The 90% slow off of the set ulti. If you haven't already satchel charged yourself out, that's death for you.
Amen.
Top top scuttle kind of halfway secures this Rift Herald, especially considering Ziggs is dead, but they do want to scrap it. This is a very scrap-heavy team there. Samira very happy to take that, and following up to Flash E onto the Mundo, but gets caught by the Nico. That was a... You don't want to Flash E in as a Samira into Dark Jungle when the enemy team has CC, and this is going to compound into additional death and the Rift Herald secured.
And this
for
Nico
On Jah.
playing things favorably. Again, that Dark Seal at A stacks. I would love to see that be turned into a Magi's considering
And
the
the hook
level
in
of
the
play
Mundo,
she's showing.
Super Mega Death Rocket does help to kill the Nautilus. Fiora going in 1v3, gonna be able to pick up a second kill. Actually, might get away with it, but Rift Herald at low health gets finished off. Fiora comes in for the second kill. There's no way she's getting out of
man,
this.
she just got the quad at
The
18 minutes.
distributed ace. What an amazing turnaround. Fiora, kind of disgusting here with the lead that she had prior to this fight. The lead extended even further. Fiora really strong, the strongest character on the map with 2 completed items.
Definitely, and I feel like she's about to go back and get another.
Not quite. Looks like she has the chain vest though, and the momentum's gonna give them a lot of mid pressure here. The tower's already down. Looks like Samira's gonna look to see the respawning blue buff, probably take it off their hands. As you can see, map development for On Jah Dark is huge. Got all the T1s down, which is going to let them make incursions into the enemy jungle and begin strangling their resources. This is just good macro play overall. In spite of the blunder there by Samira, things did work out. Who knew Fiora was that strong that fast?
Definitely. I feel like because, like you said, the Eagle land up there in the top lane, the island, nobody was paying attention to the Fiora, and then when that Fiora gold started to scale into these team fights, there's just not a lot that On Jah can really do to stop the Fiora.
Right, interesting. Looks like Samira is halfway caught, forced to use the W. Trades her life, probably for Senna, and Jinx is kind of caught out against 3 people. Nico going to be catching 2 people with her ulti, but going to have to use the clone to get out. The clone absorbs the Q, well placed. And Nico does make it out of there, traded 1 for 2. These trades are not good. Oh, an amazing Xin Zhao EW onto the Nico for the kill. Tamira barely making it out there with the Ziggs satchel charge with the tower aggro. Amazing play. First T2 to go down for On Jah.
Dark On Jah, you have to appreciate the macro levels that they are playing with. They're really just holding this map control. And like you said, they're just beginning to stifle the resources. Top lane had begun to be stifled even from the early game. From that first kill, I would even say, is when Fiora really kind of put that impression onto set. And now it's just carrying throughout the rest of the team.
Right, and as we approach 20 minutes on the spawn of Baron, I would love to see more vision in red side, red jungle there for On Jah Dark to get a bit of pre-Baron going on. Right now, all the wards are focused here in the bottom half of the map. As we get a sneaky back from Xin Zhao. Not that he wouldn't have been able to run away there with 3 allies nearby, but just if you look at Xin Zhao,
Fiora may be caught.
Ooh, Fiora is hyper caught, as a matter of fact, but
I don't think she's as hyper as you thought she was.
Facebreaker there, max range Zapna keeps her in, but that Q refresh with a lot of the CDR on her build actually lets her get out of that. W burnt by Samira, and an Hourglass ulti from Nico. Gets killed. Yep. Yeah, you didn't catch as many people as you thought you caught. Samira ulting, but gets killed by the W from Set. Set continuing to pursue the
A lot of damage starting to show from the Set. I mean, from the Samira and the Jinx now.
Right. Fiora trying to make a lot of work, do a lot of work there, but this is just a continuation of the Fiora that was running away from 4 people. I don't know what changed to make Fiora think that she could fight 4 people instead.
I think that ego was starting to get to her head, and she ended up with that ego giving Jinx a 700 gold shutdown while still showing another 700 gold shutdown on the field.
Yeah, so I guess the pre-Baron didn't really matter there if they lose a bunch of their players and give them free Baron, but cross-mapping it wisely, Xin Zhao does take Dragon. And actually, this is going to be the 3rd Dragon of the game, and it is Ocean Soul. It's kind of a non-factor. So one thing I want to talk about is the presence of 2 Kraken Slayers between Jinx and Senna against a not really armor-focused team here. Xin Zhao's tankiness comes from his ulti and them not being able to shoot him through his ulti. Fiora kills them first. So the Kraken Slayer actually doesn't do a whole lot, if you ask me.
No, I agree with you. The only target that's really getting viable outcome out of the Kraken Slayers is the Nautilus. And even then, even though Nautilus is trying to hold you down, you would have the amount of damage necessary going a different mythic. If you would have
Right.
went for the shield bow, I definitely feel like it would have been a better play.
Kind of halfway catch, a bit of poke on the Nautilus as he wanders near the Wraith Brush. Actually loses like 40% of his health. Pretty good poke. And Ziggs actually poking back, getting just as much on the Senna. Barely dodges the root there. And it looks like we've got 5 people just sort of, we kind of have an NA ram going on. And Fiora hitting the flank, forces the flash, actually riposts the face breaker, but gets ultied in under tower, gets killed by the W under tower. Kind of, you can only riposte one thing at a time, you know what I mean?
Definitely, no. And oh, she's trying her best, but Fiora is starting to show that she cannot be in these team fights and
Samira
engage
getting
her.
exploded by another W from Set. That's kind of been the story. Set's been oppressed so long. He's quite angry from the early game, landing a lot of those Ws to even out this game here. And really good sort of jousting, I would say, as this mid-game style of play. They haven't really done a committed 5v5. They sort of poked in. Fiora got a flank, getting caught out, right? Getting Set sect back under the T2 tower.
Definitely.
Yeah, just have not been working out. They...
But you have to
they're gonna be
appreciate
sustaining
Anjah's
a siege
effort.
here.
They were, oh, they are, and I think
Yeah,
that's
Ziggs
mid turret
put
being
an
taken down.
anti-siege. Yeah, not quite enough to stop the minions, especially with the Baron buff there. They can't really stop it fast here. A decent amount of poke coming out of Ziggs, but Mundo, he's a tanky boy. He's a dodgy
Oh man,
boy.
Nautilus tried to go in
not
for
the dodgy
oh
boy.
man, poor guy there. Tried to go in for the hook, kept walking
Fiora
forward.
with
Fiora in the
teleport
back
flank,
line.
coming in, yeah, and coming in from behind, gets the, actually didn't get the riposte on the ulti, but it doesn't matter. Fiora sitting there healing in her ulti. Samira follows up with her own ulti, and that's a big clean ace. I'm gonna guess that's inhib tower. Oh, actually, they don't have a lot of minions. Might just be one tower, but
It depends really if we can get this minion wave to crash in
Right, that
fast
was a
enough, but those
beautiful
death
flank by
timers are
Fiora.
not fast enough. Definitely, great
Yeah,
flank
Fiora
on the
actually,
Fiora was
they're
able to scare
taking-
them all off.
right, they're preserving the minion by taking the tower themselves. Very wise play. Gonna get a ward over the wall. Nothing for any teleports though, since Fiora did use the teleport just now for that play. Very good. Mundo actually flashed forward to continue and trace. I'm not quite sure what he was flashing for, but it did mean he couldn't turn around to line back that Fiora effectively.
And with death timers going up, we may be seeing another fight, but it could. It looks like
it
it
does go
said
down.
clean
Right.
inhibitor, and it's Dark On Jah coming out with a lot of gold, about 3k gold advantage after that.
Right, if I were coaching this team, I'd say clear that jungle on your way out, and it looks like they're going to engage a little bit of that, but the chase potential of Anja is pretty decent, especially with Senna doing the cloak, and ooh, slightly greedy, but he does get away with it, taking the red right out from under their nose, take the blue buff as well, leave nothing for the enemy team, and they're going to be forced to just share gold. Yeah, you see
Not
Jinx
looking
just
good for Anja.
Right, Jinx just forced to take these wolf camps, you know, Senna just picking up a soul there. Nothing to do for Anja on the respawn, no objectives up, and a clean reset and exit resource take from Anja Dark. Just good macro in general, and let's take a look at the items here.
Yes, definitely. We see that Fiora did go for the Sunder for those increased Q procs. The Gore Drinker, of course, you saw as the first mythic being finished on the Jin Shao. All of these are looking like great picks when it comes to mythics.
Yeah, and we see Fiora here with 12 kills, 3 items done. Most fed player on the map currently. Kind of a huge threat with not a ton of CS or CC there. I mean, there's a lot of CC there, but she has the riposte that can actually turn some of that around. We've seen it used very well before, not very well in other times, but just overall really good flanks, and we're just going to be looking out for that as soon as the teleport's back up. But until then, looks like Fiora's just going to take the red and send herself bottom.
Now,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on that dead stance on the Fiora being built third item?
Oh, I think that's a pretty wonderful item. Even though you have 2 Kraken Slayers, the majority
Jin
of the
Shao
damage
looking
is
to be
AD.
caught?
Right,
And
Jin Shao
piercing
not
it
quite caught. Yep. Ziggs just reminding them that he's in the flank on the side there. They give up the chase on the Xin Zhao. Fiora coming in, dodging a root as she clears out some vision. And it looks like they're preparing for Dragon number 4. And again, we see Anja just sort of pre-ordering their position, but they just sort of waver back and forth, not really establishing any picks or doing any substantial poke. And
While Ziggs is just getting in that poke himself.
right. And now we've got another flank from Fiora appearing, going around the blue buff, probably coming in from behind, and they're going to be ready to fight in about 3 seconds.
Nautilus goes in. Fiora is starting to get collapsed on by everyone, but Nico is going in on the enemy side. We're already seeing a couple of kills come down. Fiora cleaning up in the back, but Ziggs ulti doing too much damage for Nico to really do much.
And it looks like they're cleanly routed, going to have to give up that dragon.
Well, I think it was less than a give up more than they're dead.
Right, and you know what? This is actually a trend for a top laner. When he played the Maokai in the previous set, he did get a lot of those clean flanks off with the ulti, and now he's on a top laner on Fiora. Once again, just flanking really clean. And here's the tragedy of it. On Jah actually had a ward in that position, and they just, I guess they just sort of tunnel vision, didn't see the Fiora coming until it was way too late.
And I think they're going for game.
Right, and the consequence of that is game. They don't have a sufficient amount of people to guard it. Yeah, cheekily, the Ziggs did try to satchel charge the Nexus. Doesn't work that way.
Tried her best. We can give Takara an A for effort.
Right, that was actually a pretty clean game. Fiora really snowbally there.
Wow.
Yeah, quite
Quick
good.
game.
Right, we saw a lot of good play from the Nico, getting a lot of these clean ultis as counter engages. We saw Mundo doing a lot of good zoning. We saw some good routes to start fights from Senna, but ultimately it was just a lot of solo play from Fiora, a lot of solo play from Xin Zhao, a lot of good poking from Ziggs, good macro all around. Just as a team strategy was just very solid. I think honestly it was just good macro, good team diff. And it started in top lane, but it sort of spread out, and that advantage continued to be leveraged in other lanes. It didn't just stay top.
Now, I know we did mention a little bit about the Nico already, but don't forget our fellow casters in here were in this game, so it's time for us to BM a little bit. Man,
right,
that
so
Kraken Slayer on the Jinx. Let's start with that.
Well, Kraken Slayer, I mean, it's a good damage item, especially since it gives the attack speed passive, but if Jinx just gets jumped on by Fiora, you spend more time kiting than doing damage, right?
Definitely thought like a shield bow would have been a better play.
100%. I probably wouldn't have gone shield bow, mostly because comfort. I would have gone for a Gale Force instead of Kraken if I thought about it a bit more closely. In pretty much looking at how the team was playing out, I was just thinking, hey, the only damage here is going to be Nico and myself. I need to do as much DPS as I can, which is where the Kraken came from. But in retrospective, yes, the Gale Force or a Bloodthirster would have been the best.
Right, because if you have no room to breathe, how are you going to right-click?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I would like your thoughts on that Dominix that you built. What was the idea there?
Dominix. Honestly, I've just found better damage in Dominix than in IE as a third item lately. I feel like IE is just a weaker item overall in the current state of the game, so that's where the Dominix comes.
Oh, interesting. If I want to point out the Serpent's Fang on Samira, I guess he was trying to shred the shield from Nico. And the big shield from Set, actually, as well.
Not a bad item to pick into it, to be honest, especially if she was able to pull off her S rank in the team. That would have shredded any type of shields that they would have been having.
Right, and the shield bow, if they got him, would have been another shield to shred. Interesting play there. What do you think, Pickham? How'd that game go?
I think if, at least for me personally, it was either I ult 3 people on their team or I ult Fiora. And apparently I should have ulted Fiora. That is my diagnostics. I think the Fiora and the rest of their team just played it really well, like snuffing out vision. So the Fiora could backline, so our tanks either had to deal with everyone in front of us or just the Fiora behind us. And it feels bad either way, because either your tanks are all fighting one person while the rest of their team fights you, or, you fight the rest of the team and then you look and your backline doesn't exist because Fiora two-shots them.
Right, and the thing is, even if you go and try to push with your tanks, you have a Nautilus. He's really good at blocking those tanks from getting in.
Yeah, I thought it was just really well played by them. Ziggs too, like, every time you roam out of mid, Ziggs just destroys towers, and just like, Takara in general, was able to take a lot of objectives, I'm pretty sure, by just, being in the right spot at the right time with the Ziggs bombs and the satchels.
Right, really good static pressure on that Ziggs, really persistent threat to your structures.
Definitely, yeah. And all I have to say to end off this game is macro, macro, macro. It did so much damage that game for On Jah. The Dark On Jah was just able to come in and clean.
Yeah, their econ was just quite good. They're ending the game. Well, they ended the game at like what 5k advantage, but the thing is, like, a lot of that gold on On Jah was actually on the Senna, right? So
Definitely.
Again, the gold total doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, Senna doesn't pop off until at least 3 items. So even though a
Right.
lot of the goal was on Senna, we didn't have enough time to get her online to actually be able to, snowball like we were hoping for her to do late game.
Right.
And
That's
late game carries again. Another team falls.
uh, that late game investment. You have to get there, and you have to get there without having lost your map.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of teams try the late game scaling, and I'm not sure if I've seen any of them actually pan out yet. Correct me if I'm
Right.
wrong.
I don't believe I've seen a single one.
We have the pick bands ready for the other game.
Excellent. I am getting those up
Okay.
now.
Well, for you gamblers
No,
over
we
there
do
at
not.
home, let me
Oh.
know who's been making money off these bets. Who has been actually been winning in all of these games with your little gambles at home? Because I know you little sinful people out there building Sinfire capes.
I'm just saying, report Chrono for no Penta. What can I say?
Oof.
Yeah, Rip Chrono, no Penta.
Yeah,
Chrono
and the
loses
Fiora
his
too.
MVP.
Fiora only got a Quadra, reported.
We got the Quadra. Tragic.
Yeah. Really just a trash player if you think about it.
Oh, do not start this game because we could definitely say a couple of things about you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see the fact that Fiora went like 12-3 and I went 6-6 is, enough flame right there.
Right. I mean, there were a lot of good early mid game Nico plays. It just didn't convert into a lot. I mean, there was the one that converted to Dragon, which was quite good, but aside from that, like these really pitched team fights, you have the Fiora flank. I mean, 2 of them really critical for turning the momentum. Not that it was actually firmly in Anja's grasp at any point, but like really catapulted the game, blew it wide open.
Definitely. Anja was, I think, behind at least 3k gold for most of the game, and every time they got close to crossing the threshold, something would happen to put him back away.
Definitely.
All right.
And
We got the
pressure-
pick band getting up now for the next game.
What are you hoping to see out of
Dark?
Dark On Jah? I mean, out of On Jah this game? Asp.
well, okay, so we got Anja on blue side. They have early pick. I'm gonna say, pick a mid. I don't really agree with going for tricky picks. Just find something that's consistently good and is gonna be able to perform, at all stages of the game. Don't rely on late game, right? Obviously, they can't take this advice since these games were already played, but I would say ban junglers, ban Kenda out. Just ban a lot of the really good scrappy junglers. Viego's a good ban, Xinjiao's a good ban, and then honestly, I would just focus a lot of jungle ban. For top lane, I would say find something that's a little bit aggressive. Set like can be aggressive, but only against characters that are less aggressive than him, which is not a ton. Find something that's gonna be able to scrap with Fiora. Go for a skill matchup. Mix it up a little bit. You could throw on like a, I don't know. There's a decent amount of tops that you could throw in there.
But real
honestly,
quick, before we talk about this anymore, I've been reminded that
Okay.
we have to do our commercial break before it goes over and makes us all sad. So we will be
Oh,
back
gotcha.
in 2 minutes.
Dude, that game definitely feels.
And we are back for the pick ban of Anja versus Dark On Jah Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I'm excited to see it. Let's hopefully ask. They took that advice. They somehow went to the future, went back into their own time, and let's see what they do with these pick bands.
Right, well, I'm going to have to report them to the TVA in that case if they do. So Karma ban right away from Anja. Just a good ban. We saw Karma leverage to great effect on the previous day. So keeping the Karma as a prio ban, I understand it. I would say an additional ban, like I said, those junglers. I'd love more jungle bans from Anja against Dark Anja. Their jungler is pretty key to their early game momentum. Lots of scrappy characters. Xin Zhao, great ban. Viego, great ban. Stuff like that, honestly. We see
Still
another
a questionable
Shen
Shen ban, I feel.
well, I mean, Shenban, it is their support. It's well practiced. I say if I'm Dark On Jah, after that game, I don't see any new bans. And game one, they just banned out their comforts. And I think if I'm Dark On Jah, I'm cool with that. They go for the Fura ban, very good value from last game. I understand it, but I feel like the Fura was not a character-specific problem. I think it was just a general problem. I would love to see like I said, I'm just a broken record, another jungle ban. But Fura ban, understandable. Second ban for Dark On Jah, though. Again, I would say like a Mordekaiser, Volibear, Pantheon. Those are the predictable Phase 1 Dark On Jah bans.
And I feel like I think you might have to report them. I think they saw the future.
Right, and then Anja, they got the Vel'Koz ban again. So they repeated the first phase bans except for the Fura instead of... I forgot what they banned game 1, but Vel'Koz, another ban aimed at mid. 2 mid bans, but here's the thing. Their mid's not playing... Their mid's not the same mid. Their Dark On Jah's mid doesn't play Karma. Nico ban from Dark On Jah. I guess pretty decent ban there, especially Nico definitely got good value last game. So good ban.
Definitely. A lot of good. Oh, and there we go. Just like you were saying, man, a Mordekaiser ban because he has such good potential to just carry games.
Right, a Mordekaiser ban. Actually, I love this pick from Anja because top lane was kind of their weak point. If they can get a comfort with somebody who plays Mordekaiser, get him up top, get him to slow down that top momentum. Xin Zhao, a repick, early pick. Love this pick for Dark On Jah. You know they're going to get good value. Seraphine could be a mid to bot flex. You don't know where it's going to go. Seraphine as a sort of supporty mid could totally work, especially in conjunction with Xin Zhao and whatever they pick for top. Dr. Mundo, probably a jungle pick? Or wait, no. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I believe it may be a jungle pick again on the Dr. Mundo.
And Pantheon, comfort pick mid. Actually, no. It's a Senna, as a matter of fact. So
again,
Senna, I guess
Senna pulling out.
Right, here's the thing. Senna is good damage, but honestly, Anja could use more CC. Senna not only is a slow-range skill shot, but the root comes at a delay. It's not a Pantheon, I'll tell you what. And Leona as the support pick for Dark On Jah, I'm sure you're thrilled about that one.
Hey, yo!
Right.
Now, I am going to say the Karma, the Seraphine out here, I feel is going to be like the value ban Karma, since Karma was banned out, but they still want that kind of, support caster in the backside. Seraphine is going to be great for that, especially with the, revamped Sona ulti that she carries with much greater.
Right. A interesting ban here from on Swain. I guess Swain as a support. I guess that's weird since Leona's picked, but as a AP bottom, I guess, is what they're banning out. I don't know. Interesting Jinx ban. I don't think it's high prio, to be completely honest. I would have rather banned a enemy support. Like I would have banned a Nautilus or something since your Leona was already picked. You get what I mean? But also, I guess they read that the Senna support anyway.
Definitely. I did just get some word saying that the Swain is a top ban preference.
Oh, I see. Top ban against Nate. Yeah, Nate does play a lot of Swain, so it does make sense. But well, Swain as a early skirmisher, I guess, does make sense. Pantheon picked. I'm gonna assume that's a mid.
I don't know.
Wait,
I feel like we've seen a lot of
Takar. Takar straight up doesn't play Pantheon mid, right?
I don't believe so, but like I was trying to say, we've seen Pantheon a lot in the bot lane. I'm feeling like it's Seraphine. She does all right in the mid game. This may be a Pantheon mid. In fact, I think I would put money down.
Okay, so we have a Xayah picked as ADC for Anja. Interesting character, has a pretty defensive ulti, can scale decently into late. Obviously not like your dedicated hyper carries like your Vaynes or whatever. And Zoe mid actually picked into this comp, and we'll see last pick for Dark On Jah, really solidifying where all these flexors are going.
I feel like, and we're seeing a
Hey,
lot.
what is the spot lane? What is the spot lane?
I think I may have been wrong. I think I
that a
just lost
roll-
my money.
Is that going to be a Lux Seraphine bot roll swap, and then they have a Pantheon mid?
I don't think so because they have a Leona, so I feel like it may be Leona. Oh
you're
man,
right.
this is a strange one.
You're right. I actually have no idea. So it's going. Okay, let's see. Wait till they learn that it's Moonstone Lux mix. Interesting. Well, I mean, once we get in game, we'll see where people are going. That is an interesting comp. Pretty scrappy, pretty bursty, not really meant for late game. So again, Dark On Jah really investing into these momentum-based comps, and we'll see how it pans out.
I think they might have noticed the macro outplay that they were able to perform in the first game, and I think they are trying to invest back into that, but more aggressively in this.
Right. Well,
Can you guys
I mean-
see the game?
I can't see.
I do see it.
Excellent.
All right, so very interesting draft here from On Jah Dark. More classical draft from On Jah Classic, On Jah Vanilla.
The better Anja?
We
Definitely
can't
lost
say
first
that just
game, but
yet.
better Anja?
We can't say that just yet. I feel like this is a fight for the title, and
Okay,
we
so-
don't know yet.
So let's see. So the picks are actually a top Pantheon and a mid Lux and Seraphine Leona bottom.
Interesting picks. I wonder what chose Dark On Jah to go Seraphine into the bot lane. I would love to get a word with that player.
It is a very momentum based bot lane. Leona is a kill lane with any character. Seraphine easy follow ups.
Now we did see Dark On Jah trying to come in for the 5-man invade sneakily,
Oof,
but
you hate
was
to
spotted
see
out
it.
by the Senna.
Accidentally does the double ward on the red buff. It's an evaded by the blue team. They get vision on the red buff and then move back to cover their own blue.
And it looks like On Jah is trying to get vision onto that red buff, but
Looks
spotted
like
out
Anja's
by
doing
Pantheon.
Right, Anja's doing their own invade. I don't think they're gonna commit to this red buff. They didn't even ward it. They actually fake warded it, or faked pushing up for the ward. But it's not like anybody has.
And now we
on
see
Dark On
Mundo
Jah.
going deep for some type of vision.
Okay, Mundo did come back to drop his ward, seen by Pantheon taking one auto attack into it on his way up top. But it looks like they're going to be starting the blue buff. I see Mordekaiser positioned to do the leash there.
Now, while we wait for these lanes to actually kick off, who do you think is going to be the craziest lane to watch right now?
It's got to be bottom. Look, they picked this unconventional lane for a reason, and we have a bit of a late leash there for Mordekaiser. He's going to be late to the lane. It's really going to impact his ability to pressure, and Pantheon, high pressure character, even at level 1. And bot lane did do a bit of a fake leash, considering that they didn't push up the lane immediately. And again, I don't think it's worth it, especially considering that Dark On Jah pushed up to ward the red buff to confirm that bot lane wasn't leashing anyway. They should have just taken that position, not do a cheeky fake leash, and instead just get really good positioning in lane. Because again, Leona is a level 2 character. You want to push and get level 2 first so that she can't aggress on you. But having conceded the lane position is going to mean that they are going to allow this unconventional Seraphine Leona lane to get level 2 first, as you can see, and therefore push the minions into their side, make them lose a couple of these CS. 1 CS lost already, 2 CS lost, and 3 CS lost.
And we've seen the Seraphine able to actually put out some good damage off in that first little trade.
Right, Seraphine passive allows her to poke from way outside tower range, and Leona's going to be able to threaten with her combo, but as they're pinned up against the tower, you see Mundo coming in for the early gank.
I don't
Right,
think
since
much is going to come out of this.
Right, he's
Forcing
sync
flash on 2 of
Right, he
On Jah.
started blue, sync bottom. They knew the early gank was coming. Great answer. Flash Q into the combo, doesn't actually commit the E for it. Senna trying to trade back some damage. Actually, you remember they committed the early ignite onto very good E. As you can see, Leona held the E after the flash Q, held the E for the return, anticipating that with the Mundo nearby that they were going to be a lot more bold. Wow, that shield from Takara very well timed to block the damage from the Zoe combo, doing basically nothing.
Definitely. And I feel a little bit
And
bad for
Zaya
On Jah.
out of
this
position.
unconvention- Oh, I feel like this is the end for no Mundo's coming in for another counter
Mundo
gank.
regank, just securing the exit for the Zaya. Very good play, just a lot of IQ being leveraged here at bot lane. And Pantheon doing a lot of burst. Oh, dodges the pull that would have actually put him in a lot of danger. Commits the Ignite, though. And the flash Q.
And the Q.
Yeah, he
Oof.
tried to hit him with the cheeky flash Q. Didn't quite land it. Committed both summoners to that kill attempt.
I'm feeling bad for Anja. They are trying so many plays and they're just not working out by like the skin of their teeth.
Right, and you got a full 1,000 gold lead at 4 minutes. And a great double Q land from Takara. But the thing is, you know, Mundo immune to that first CC. And
oh no, and he walks in for a Q.
And hits the E, goes for the full. The root doesn't quite land. Decent amount of damage. Gets him with the knock-up and the red buff slow, and it doesn't even need the dot. He finishes him off anyway. Great counter gank and the bush bait by Xin Zhao. Which is
Definitely
interesting because
play.
Mundo should have known that his blue side was getting invaded anyway on the respawn. Since he did start blue, they knew he was starting blue from the red. You know, this is all consequence from the level 1 ward that was on red buff before the minions even spawned.
And at 5 minutes, we're already seeing a... Oh, yes, but at 5 minutes, there's already a 2k gold disparity.
Right, almost 2k there, pretty big. No reset yet for Xin Zhao. He's kind of greeting for bot scuttle there. Or not bot scuttle, just pathing down to get his bot camps. Honestly, considering that he got the kill on Mundo, I would have honestly loved to get... Whoa, we got the
double flash out of the Zoe, still gets stunned.
He flashed into the flash shard, into the flash, into the real flash, like, oof. And Leona puzzlingly roaming in the mid from top river. And a
very confusing stuff happening there.
Right, Leona continuing this interesting roam path and gets a root onto the Mundo, who gets ignited to prevent a lot of his healing. He doesn't have his ulti yet, but both of them are really low. Both the Zoe's dead. Oh my gosh. 0-4 start for Dark On Jah. A lot of these scrappy plays, like I said it during champs, like scrappy characters, scrappy plays. Leona and Xin Zhao, very good characters for doing these types of plays, and it's really paying off.
The flash kill for the Mordekaiser.
Right, really well placed there. But I'm gonna tell you, with the 13 CS differential, not a huge advantage, not a huge deal. Especially considering that Mordekaiser hasn't yet used teleport 6 minutes into the game to get any kind of econ advantage, right?
Definitely.
So his 6 minutes in, he hasn't used teleport for any kind of early cheater recall, and therefore the value of bringing teleport over Ignite, unrealized.
Definitely, I see what you're saying, and I am myself a person with this flaw. It's hard to find yourself in a good position to teleport into games.
Right. So then we see Lux get the early Lost Chapter, same thing for Seraphine, and the reset from Mordekaiser yielded an Amptoma, I guess a few minutes ago.
Lost Chapter sold from the Lux. What is she doing?
She's actually going to be buying something else instead. Looks like going for
the Moonstone.
Or yeah, the Bandle Glass Mirror, I believe.
Yes, that is the Bandle Glass Mirror, but I believe that's going to be building into a Moonstone.
Right. We did hear about the Moonstone from the chat earlier, so I guess that's what we're going to be expecting. It is kind of a riff on that Karma from earlier. I'm going to expect a Shirelia's, a 3-man gank here. Bottom forces the flash on Leona, turning a 1v1. Wait! Pantheon ulti for the 1v1 that it was currently fighting! What in the world was that?
That was wild! Pantheon pro gamer move.
After the pull was on cooldown, Pantheon thought, why don't I just ulti in place? And I suppose it worked out. Interesting E-buffer from Leona, didn't actually land it though, and just slept without eating any of the
Xin Zhao going in for a dash
goes in really hard, pops the ulti, doesn't actually continue to chase, but it is a good answer. Zoe gets a bit of a damage, but Zoe without items, just a blasting wand, not a ton of damage even on her combo. And a good follow-up for Xin Zhao, hits the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, decent amount of damage return. Xin Zhao, skin of his teeth, gets the getaway, aided by Seraphine.
And I think that's the story for Dark On Jah. They're able to get away with all of these cheeky plays with just 1 HP to spare.
And the thing is, yeah, Dark On Jah has all of the agency in this game, as you can see. The only place where it's not exactly true is top, where Mordekaiser is holding his own a little bit, but as you can see, big CS diff here at bottom. 18 currently, and probably likely to grow. And we see the early Cloud Drake, 8 minutes and 35 seconds in. It's not the earliest dragon, but it does start the ball rolling for one of their win cons. We
And
see
I definitely
Xin Zhao here
feel-
in the
oh.
bush. A pretty decent smite on the Wraiths in order to keep his health up. Actually
Miss
triggers
Lux ulti.
his smite quest, I guess. You know, getting the 5 smites out.
Correct.
Right, and Mundo does also pop his ulti to get his health back, as I can see. And a decent slow push here building from Mordekaiser. Hits the pull, but the damage blocked by well-timed Pantheon was at W or E?
I believe that's his E.
Right. Pretty good play. Hot feet dancing around the Mordekaiser buttons as he neutralizes the slow push mid-wave. Really good play. Just generally good top lane play. Doesn't always have to result in kills.
Definitely.
We
It's
see
a lot of
17
these-
CS diff in mid. We see a 12 CS diff in top. Or sorry, 22 CS diff in top. We see a decent CS diff, but also kill diff in jungle. Just generally really good econ advantage, you know, good macro, as we keep saying. Like they have 5 kills, but just generally superior macro all over the board.
Man, these plays are coming out pretty intense on both sides of this team, but Dark On Jah, the story of the 1 HP escapes.
Right, and it is just a story of their agency, right? They have the control to say we start the fight and we end the fight. Either we leave or we kill you, right?
Definitely.
And Xin Zhao and Senna, or not Xin Zhao, Xayah and Senna can't really force you to fight. You know, they can punish you for overextending, but they can't really do much else, right? Whereas
Now let's
like
take a look
Leon
at
and
this
Senna-
gold lead right now. We see that Jin Xiao
Right.
is coming out with 3.8 to a 2.8, already a 1k gold lead on that jungler, and Jin Xiao with that early gold is going to be able to snowball so many things onto the other lanes when he begins to start going with more and more ganks.
Right, and exactly. But the thing is, like, we don't even see a gold lead for Senna like we usually do.
This is not looking good for On Jah.
Right, and the econ's not insurmountable, far from insurmountable right now. But just based off their macro, just look at how well, we got things brewing here in top river. Perhaps they're looking at the Herald. Since everything else in both jungles is completely cleared out, we see a burst starting against the Mordekaiser. Xin Zhao joins the fray, pops the ulti, lots of damage on this Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser does have the ulti available and dead. And Xin Zhao comes out of the Nether Realm, turning around to start the fight on Zoe. Zoe forced the ulti, gets tagged by the Pantheon Q. Fade away. You can't really dodge the Mundo as he's on top of you with the slow. Xayah pops the ulti, dodges the Senna ulti on Leona. Leona probably waiting to turn on Xayah. Xayah gets hit by the Q and the E. Lots of double damage. Double Q actually finishes off Seraphine as we turn to supportal combat, which doesn't actually pan out. Both of the bot lanes trade kills there. But the lane position actually is kind of neutral. So
I definitely feel like this game is just becoming more and more exciting as it goes. We now see the Moonglass on, or the
Moonstone?
the Crescent, yeah, the Moonstone on the Lux actually being completed. We see 3
Right.
mythics on Dark On Jah and no mythics
ooh,
on
the
On Jah.
flash E, very good on Leona, securing the Senna in place. He accidentally Qs a minion instead, but it doesn't matter because Lux casually comes down, grabs the kill.
And
Really
this
good roam.
Moonstone on the Lux coming in pretty clutch. I don't know if you noticed, but the healing there was about 200 HP healing, and it's only 12 minutes into the game, and we're seeing that on the Lux that is already supplying such a heavy amount of shield.
Right. Very good utility on that Lux build. Lux, you know, being a kind of semi-supporty character, doesn't actually need a lot of items to do damage, as you can see. Lots of base stats for Lux, which allows her to build Moonstone and get a lot of effectiveness on the board. Big scrap coming in from top. Xin Zhao pops his ulti. Mordekaiser's trying to kite away, turning around. And actually, both the blue team is trying to retreat into the tower. Gets chased down by the Xin Zhao. Very good play, I guess. In general, they're going to make them face a further consequences. They dive, actually, easy diving from both these scrappy sort of bruiser players. Easily just going to take a couple tower shots. Tower shots not warmed up yet. They're not afraid of diving. And now the consequence here is full, 2 waves going to be dying up there. Lots of plates still since it's not quite 14 minutes. Lovely Leona ulti into the Seraphine ulti, into the follow-up,
Oh my god, that
into the
bot
big
lane was
damage
just-
there. Leona W actually kills the Xayah. A bit of follow-up damage. The root actually flies past the Seraphine into Leona, of little consequence here. Xayah
I think
dead
with that, we
again.
can confirm that the Leona is the carry for that bot lane, coming out with a 2-0 and 150 gold shutdown.
Yeah, he's got a very fantastic play there. As you can see, the essence of this bot lane is chain CC. It doesn't matter what thing you start with, you're going to land everything. You get hit by one thing, you get hit by all things. Zoe with the bottom roam, but this is kind of hazardous. You got Mundo down here already, going to try and finish off the Leona as he cuts away surfing, caught out of position. I guess sacrifice the bot lane for the support?
I'm telling you, I think Leona is the carry for that lane. They're trying to feed her into
Leona
the kills.
is the carry. You're right. We got a bot lane teleport from Mordekaiser trying to secure this dragon, I guess. Mundo gets caught here, is gonna get popped, and Zoe just zoning him away. Zoe doing the Zony. Lux gets caught, gives up the respect flash, hits 2 people with her ulti.
Now they're all low, and Pantheon is close by to respond.
Good catch, but no follow-up damage here for Lux. And it looks like they're actually not feeling confident about this.
And they caught the center.
Going in, pops the ulti, knocking away the Mordekaiser who did ulti him in response. But Mordekaiser might be trapped by his own ulti. Sleeping Trouble Bubble on the Xin Zhao. Decent amount of damage. It actually charges and takes minimal damage from the Zoe Q. And actually picks off both Zoe and Mordekaiser, securing probably the dragon there for On Jah Dark. And Xayah and Mundo were kind of trying to scrap the other half of that engagement, but didn't really make anything out of it. Pantheon hits the blast cone to actually secure a dive, locks the door behind Xayah, and Xayah is pinging for somebody to help her, but Mundo's like, I want to scrap for a red buff instead. Smites it for health. Pantheon dives the Xayah by himself. Is like, you know what, I'm not going to wait for you. I'm just going to do the dive myself. How about that?
And
I don't even need minions.
Ooh. It's looking like a dark day for On Jah as On Jah Dark starts to steal the name.
Right, and then Lux going here, just cranking up a little bit of pressure here against the mid tower. Xin Zhao going to take Mountain Dragon, very well earned after a bunch of those kills, out by red buff, out underneath bot tower.
Now again, something that we haven't really been talking about, that first Drake being a Wind Drake. A lot of people are against me when I say this. Wind Drake, I feel, is one of the strongest Drakes. Especially if you're able to catch... I mean, like, you can hate me for it, but 10% cooldown
I'm not hating, I'm just saying it's
factually
incorrect.
Factually incorrect. Listen to this, man. We go with our hearts, and my heart is telling me otherwise.
Are we taking a vote? I'll vote for not Wind Drake.
Right. Anyway, it is Mountain Drake, and what was the soul if you can just glance at the Dragon Pit there for a second? It's going to be Infernal Soul. So we'll see. I mean, the momentum does look good for On Jah Dark, and if it's going to be Infernal Soul, it's actually going to give a lot of these support-type characters the additional damage they need in order to shore up those damage holes. But again, I'm going to tell you...
Mordekaiser appearing in a bad position.
Right. Looks like Mordekaiser is going to be chasing away the Pantheon. 3 people behind him. Ooh, Sleeping Trouble Bubble lands for Pantheon, gonna get pulled in. He's gonna be facing 3 full people here, actually blocking a great deal of damage with his W. And actually pops his ulti to get
able to get out.
I cannot believe it!
This Pantheon has been making insane plays with that ultimate. You have to appreciate a Pantheon that is able to know when to get in, when to get out, and apparently when to ult on top of himself.
Well, he knew exactly what was going on. The pull was used off the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. That's all the CC that all 3 of those characters can bring. And he's like, wait, why can't I press R? Turns out I can. And Xin Zhao, without fear, coming in again. Mordekaiser pops the ulti on Xin Zhao again, pays with it for his life. I think that's the 3rd time that's happened. Oh, that's an amazing Seraphine ulti as an answer to Xayah puzzlingly deciding to flash forward, pays with their life. And Xin Zhao following, chasing the Mundo, misses the E, but Audacious Charge just comes off cooldown anyway. Great bind by Lux to follow up and kill Zoe, and that's actually 4 people dead, just the Senna alive, hugging her bot tower, not quite sure what to do.
And we are now seeing at 18 minutes, almost another 10k gold lead.
Yes, it is going to be really hard for On Jah to come back from this, especially since there's no gold on anybody that needs gold. 69 CS on Mordekaiser. The CS lead for On Jah is actually below the lowest CS of On Jah Dark here in Pantheon. So that does not bode well for the macro of On Jah, which seems to be one of their larger weaknesses. It's kind of a team diff. I'm not intending to throw shade or mean disrespect, but it does seem like at every facet of the problem of winning League of Legends, they are kind of falling behind. Pantheon looking for another bot lane dive, goes for the stun, actually gets dodged by the Xayah ulti, but it doesn't matter. Her health bar is not wide enough for this. Pantheon measuring his health bar really carefully as he has tower aggro. Leona has the tower aggro now. Misses the Q, actually has to abandon it. Dodges the root though, and as you can see, the story here is that they get to get away with this. Maybe not. As the
I don't think they get away with it.
3 people. Mundo looking at the triple kill, gets stunned, gets the double kill, gets the 3. Actually, Zoe gets the Q over the wall. Xin Zhao coming over to cross map for these for Shelly.
I think that's the first mistake that we really see Dark On Jah make when it comes to the macro play.
Yeah, Mundo gets 900 gold plus 450. That's a 1350 gold shutdown for Mundo. Massive gold amount there. But
I feel like he may be able to just go to base and make an entire new item, but I don't know how much that's going to help On Jah with that gold. Hey, that's Sunfire into game. Sunfire is not showing production.
Right, and I mean, I do agree with it. It is kind of weird though that considering all of the CC that's on Jah Dark, I would have honestly would rather see a Merc Treads plus a lot of armor instead. That way he could leverage all that tenacity stacking.
I would have also agreed with you on that one. I do not see the point in Steel Caps this game, even though they have heavy skirmishers. The amount of CC on that team, from the Lux, the Seraphine, the Leona, it just doesn't look good to build a Steel Cap.
Well, it's not a huge deal either way. Mundo's nice and tanky. He's going to be resetting. We'll see. He built a Giant's Belt. He's going to be going towards, I assume, is that a Warmox? What is he building there?
In that, he could build a couple of things, but it's looking like it may be going into... That could also build into an Anathemas, but I don't know if that's the play.
Right, and we see a skirmish beginning to happen around red buff. Pantheon sort of pussyfooting around. He's got 3 people in his sights, but he actually decides he's gonna jump in instead. It's pulled in. I mean, nothing you can do. I mean, you're one Pantheon. Maybe he could have just tried to ulti out of there again.
Not really, but we see another big fight in top of the red buff.
Right, red buff is the nexus for a fight. For some reason, Senna completely out of position. Mordekaiser retreating one way, Senna retreating the other way. They sort of split up and died individually. Xayah is not in a good position there. He's in range for the E. Yep, gets hit by it, gets W'd in, Audacious Charge, and actually the Gorge Trigger finishes him off. Zoe actually pops the cleanse, but it doesn't matter. Actually gets hit by the E following the cleanse. Not enough to live. Mundo, the only one alive left, and he's gonna have to just watch Jah Dark take his structures.
Now again, I want to take another moment to focus on that Moonstone on the Lux in that double heal that she pulled off. And every single one of these heals, she's giving each one of those individual people with that shield of hers around 300 HP per shield. That is insane.
Right. Not just that, but the Seraphine double cast heal and the Staff of Flowing Water is in full effect here. We have all these scrappers, right? Really love going in, and if you have a Pantheon and a Xin Zhao not fearing death, how do you live?
That I don't see a lot. I honestly, I don't see an escape route for On Jah in this game now.
Mundo is now officially caught, maybe not. It looks like he's just going to turn around. Pantheon ulting in, I guess, a few feet forward.
I think he ulted. he ulted into the mid lane, expecting Mundo to go the wrong way.
Pantheon flanking there from his ulti, actually. And Xayah completely out of position. Mundo trying to frontline, no health, has to flash out. Xin Zhao Audacious Charge onto the Xayah, as we've seen before. The pull in onto Pantheon, he cannot block the tower damage, and he actually dies for it. Xayah dead, Pantheon dead, but otherwise we're gonna reset. And as he said, a lot of sustain on Jah Dark there. Leona actually gets picked up from a cleaver at range. Good root by Lux, followed with the E for the kill. Zoe actually trying to fish from range over walls. Just her and Mordekaiser there trying to defend T2 against Lux and Seraphine. Lux gets a ulti out, doesn't quite kill Mordekaiser. I think she landed it though. Mordekaiser has his ulti back. T2 given up wisely. They probably couldn't fight that anyway with no health on Mordekaiser.
Now it's kind of funny. I feel like the macro on the side of Dark On Jah is starting to slip, but they have such a good amount of gold differential and items on the board that it's not making much of a difference.
Ooh, that's interesting. Mordekaiser actually popped his ulti on Seraphine, and Lux got hit by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but it looks like instead of focusing on Lux, they're going to turn around and secure the kill on Seraphine. Seraphine actually has 3 people on her ulti into the root on the Zoe for the kill and Senna for the root, and we got a double Q landing into the laser. Lovely use of CC and aggro management as they kite back and forth and trade CCs out. Really great play. Linear CC as people stack up on top of each other. Mordekaiser, sorry, Mundo walking up, hitting his passive, blocking the Lux Q. Doesn't get blocked on the E on Leona though, and actually follows up Leona, gets the kill.
And that staff on Flowing Waters, again, doing work. Because she shields herself on the cast of her shield, she's also getting those empowered abilities. And so the fact that she's...
with the pull, gets rooted by Lux, gets stunned by Leona, actually has to walk out with 70% damage done to his health bar, and it looks like they're going to give up the in-hit bot tower. Xin Zhao there just sort of clearing up vision around Baron, trying to clean that up. Pantheon pushed up the top lane wave. They're going to be pushing mid wave now as we see action continuing to happen here at bottom, but as you can see, they are robbing Anja of all their available resources. Good snipe onto the Zoe. And good stun onto the Xayah. Xayah does not have her ulti available for a few seconds, actually just gets caught up by a Pantheon. You know, if you're in range of Pantheon, Pantheon can kill you.
And again, these scrappers are just getting free time to roam.
Right, lots of speed there. Actually, it's funny because they actually don't have their damage. They just have all of this utility bleeding out the health bar. Lots of people dying there. It's just Mordekaiser and Senna. Senna lands the root on Xin Zhao, but it doesn't matter. Great snipe from the Pantheon Q, watching it happen from afar. Mordekaiser, the only one alive, hugging his Nexus towers. Looks like the pressure is just insurmountable. A pretty decent Q. Pantheon, oh, really good CC chain there. Start with Pantheon stun into Seraphine.
I don't know there's much that...
The Q doesn't actually land it.
I think there's going to be Nexus.
Yep. And decent amount of damage there from Lux or from Zoe onto Seraphine. Seraphine burning from the ignite, but it's not quite enough. And with the Baron Nexus, Xin Zhao actually starting to whittle it down. Leona auto-attacking, and Leona far too tanky. Mundo gonna try and get Xayah ultis, not enough. Doesn't even get to pull it back before the Nexus blows up. GG for Dark On Jah. A almost 20, like an 18k CS lead at the end there. Or
and if
18k gold lead.
If there's anything we can say about these last two games, Dark On Jah to Anja, Anja, I feel like you are just the prototype. Your lack of macro is really just killing you in these games.
They're the clone, dude. They're the decoy family.
We are seeing Mew versus Mewtwo. This is what's going on.
Christ.
Basically, I gotta say the major difference is look at the CC. The amount of CC that Dark On Jah was packing was disgusting in general. You know, Seraphine, Leona, CC up the wazoo. You got Lux. You even got Pantheon. Just click target CC that's going to facilitate all of the skill shots that are going to follow afterwards. Even Xin Zhao has a knock-up. Like, let's be real.
And you don't even have to consider the utility on top of those CCs. You also have Xin Zhao with the actual pushback, and he's also got himself that giant area cone that just doesn't let people get any type of exterior attacks, which a lot of those laners that actually were doing damage for on, they were ranged, and they were not able to get into those circles.
Interesting, because you got the kind of silver vortex going on there, if you mind my saying. One person gets caught, all of the teammates in the vicinity go, oh no, he's caught, we have to do something. Then they all die.
Facts.
Instead of, oh no, he's caught, we should cross map. Right? And like, you just macro just fall apart. They just didn't have the wherewithal to say, hey, can we threat assess what's going on here? One person gets caught by a Seraphine, by a Lux, by a Leona, by a anything, and then that person really should have dodged and should have been like, you should cut and run at that point and cross map. But what happens is one person gets caught, two other people run in to try and save them, and then they all die because it's a lot of asymmetry. Your 2v2 or your 2v3 turns into a 1v3, turns back into a 2v3, turns back into a 1v3, turns into a 0v3. Like, that's what kept happening bot lane.
Definitely. And man, it just goes to show you, just CC in League of Legends.
Right. And it's just they didn't have an answer for it, right? They could have brought Cleanse, they could have brought Mikhail's. It's not really an answer though. Mikhail's kind of expensive, you know, especially if you need it that early. And Leona, just good ease. Seraphine, just good ease. Lux, good Qs. Pantheon, in range, you know, like.
Oh, but let's give an MVP moment for that match. The Pantheon with the on top ulti.
I mean, that was the cheekiest play, but you know, the play of the game, probably a lot of the sequence down bot lane where they were trying to aggress into the Lux Seraphine and just got smacked. They lined up for those Seraphine ults very good. And just lining up for Seraphine ulti into Lux Q, into Seraphine E, into Seraphine. or into Lux R, stuff like that. Like it's so much damage ultimately to get hit by that many spells, even if they're both kind of building supporty. Like it doesn't matter because their base values are so high.
And there you go. That was Dark On Jah versus On Jah, proving Mewtwo is greater than Mew.
And then we've got game 2 pick bands ready for us, but let's give it to Pickin here for a second.
Yo, so they 2-0'd us, so there is not a third game, so that actually is it for us.
Oh, I see.
But yes, congratulations, Dark On Jah, and congratulations to Gilded Pipers for their wins today. Hard-fought games. Is there anything you guys have to say before we get off, before I do some announcements?
I mean, they were just really good games. Happy to say we see a stylistic change there. You remember yesterday we were watching some of these games and we had like, over a kill a minute. We had like almost 2 kills per minute in some of these games. We saw a little bit slower early game, but then, damn, when that game began to accelerate, it began to accelerate really hard.
There is really a critical point in these games, and I want to say, Chrono, my guy, you're nasty. That's all I want to say. And as for Anja on Dark Anja, you got to get on that macro. Dark Anja, you kind of slipped away whenever you started realizing that you had the game advantage. Try to, watch yourselves in that late mid game.
Yeah, they were kind of feeling themselves a bit, but when the enemy team's coming at you, I mean, you can't macro at that point. You just have to kill them.
Exactly.
So, what do we have coming up, Pick'em?
So, next week, same time, 3 p.m. EST. Very important that EST there, since some of us are in different time zones. We will be streaming the next set of games. Riftwalkers does do customs every other week on non-Clash nights. I saw a message or two of people wanting to do Clash tonight, so if enough people customs tonight. So if people want to play customs tonight, we can, but we usually do it every other week, not on Clash nights. So, if you are interested, show up in general, and we'll see how many people we have, and if not, maybe just make some Clash teams of everyone that shows up. Gumball, do you have anything?
I believe
Gumball's not here.
Gumball left.
Oh, wow, what a bitch. So, well, good job to all the teams. Thanks for participating, and we will see y'all next week.